I mean, imagine she's on an airplane, right?
Bomb.
Yeah. Fuck! I planted a bomb. It's gonna go off. They're gonna rip her ass off the plane.
You have no fucking control what your brain thinks. It pops the fuck out.
Yeah.
My boss put me on the shooter hunt. You gotta check this out, Mike. Mike, you gotta check this podcast out. So I gave it a listen. The episode I listened to was 38, and it was talking about murder bunnies. I'm sitting there on shrooms. Next thing you know, man, I put the fear in them bunnies' eyes, man. I ripped their hearts out. It was ferocious, but I was faster. I was quicker. I moved quicker, swift. Ate the souls, man. I ate the souls. Nothing was stopping Iron Mike. I'm crazy, and no one understands me but me. I'm not even a hunter, but sometimes I just listen to them. There is a reason Shoot the Hunt exists. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Mike out.
It's spinal.
Every time I hear him, that's the only thing I picture. My back is broken right now. What you mean is broke? I got the spinal.
Oh, that is a good intro. Like I said, it'll be old soon.
Yeah, that's not going to take long. He said he already had that one in there when he did the other one.
Oh, he did?
So he said I'm like doubling up now, so when you guys start complaining, I'm ready.
What I like about it is he has a what do they call it? With the end, the outro, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. He has both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about freeze-dried food for a minute. My wife is gone for training for her travel agency, so they get to travel to train. It's kind of like me and hunting. I get to do my job.
Are they paying for that shit when she's doing that?
Basically, she has to pay to get there, but it's all free.
No shit.
Yeah. So I
want to be a travel agent.
She's out. I might fuck this up. She'll yell at me because she told me her itinerary. She's very organized. I am not. She went to, what's the other theme park that's not Disney? I always forget.
Magic Mountain? No, that's in California.
Not Disney. It's
Knott's Berry Farm.
Something Studios.
Universal Studios.
Yeah. She's training there today, and then she's training at Disney World tomorrow next day, and then she's running a half marathon. And then she's flying to Fort Lauderdale and going on a cruise.
Damn.
Is
that with her boyfriend?
I always ask her that. No, actually, it's actually with a girl. There may be some scissor kicking.
No shit. Scissor kicking. Where does the kicking come in? I don't get. Yeah, but that's more like a flutter.
Yeah,
It's like a flutter.
I don't know what's going on there because the lady, I don't know the lady. She seems like a nice lady, but she's going on a cruise with not in the same room, but to my knowledge, not in the same room, but they're on the cruise together. And then they go on another one like in July together.
This is not sounding right.
Yeah.
Same girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not sounding right.
She comes home and wants to buy a Subaru.
Good Lord.
And it's cut off flannel. And she
cuts her hair off.
Take puberty blockers or whatever.
My goodness.
Anyways, no. One thing about my wife that I mean, you should know this about all your wives. I trust her through and through. But that's not the point of the conversation. I don't cook. We were just having this conversation about you telling me how to cook fucking chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was like, fuck, I'm going to eat some freeze-dried and we'll see if because hunting season's coming up, we're going to be doing a lot more in the wood shit. And if I'm by myself, I'm not cooking. That's a good thing about hunting with other people like Jake and my friend Shane or Kelly. They're actually cook and bring and prep. And when Mason's coming, I know I'm not fucking starving. Anyways, I've been trying freeze-dried meals. So the last 2 nights, I tried 2 different Peaks, and I'm not trying to shit on Peaks because I'm going to try we both love Gastronome. Love it. But the Pinnacle stuff is pretty good. A few other things. Yep. And Mountain House, and the other one's it's a backcountry pastry or backcountry pantry or
pantry, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to try them and see because some of them are new and improved. Like Mountain House did a whole reset on all the recipes. Dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was that?
Maybe a year ago.
I always forget the name of my favorite one in Oregon there too. I think, there's Pinnacle Foods. That's another
in Montana.
One. There's one in Oregon, the one that does the, what is it? Like the queso.
Yeah. What is that? That shit is really good.
Yeah, let me see.
Anyways, so the last 2 nights I tried, one was the Chad Mendez Buffalo something, disgusting. And the other one last night was their Alfredo. It's like this, whatever this little squiggly noodles are, curly Q noodles. Not good. Like not good. And we were both talking about this. At one time we both thought Peak was really good. Peaks. And then you said
There was a change. Like, it was so good one year that I ordered a fucking box, and that whole box was not the same.
But you remember, you thought it was great at first
Awesome.
couple times. Okay.
Yes.
So now we're in the same boat. Wonder what the change is.
Well, I don't know. You go big time, or maybe they new production facility, or I don't know. But it was almost, I thought it was like a bad batch or something because it seemed to be powdery. You know, you get a free, like if it's fucking bouncing around in your bag for 3 years and it like breaks itself all down and there's no, I like the real pieces of food. Like you pull out a fucking piece of pasta, you know it's a piece of pasta.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like has the actual fucking pasta texture.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
One thing that's hard, it's not hard to fuck up, but it seems to be most people get okay is the biscuits and gravy. Because I did try the Mountain House's, their newer one. I don't know when they redid their recipes, but it is actually pretty good. The biscuits and gravy.
Mountain House biscuits and gravy was always to be the best thing you could get from them.
I have not, like I said, I'm terrible with names. But I've had 3 different meals, one that I bought and 2 that you bought, and we can't remember exactly which one it was. They've all been fucking fantastic from Gastronome. But they have some.
The sausage rigatoni for sure. That's the only one I can say 100% was one of the good ones.
And I could definitely vouch for their huckleberry ice cream sandwich. It's on sale right now, I think, on their website.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking delicious. Yeah. If a fat kid doesn't say so himself. Anyway, so that's what that's how fucking lazy I am. I'm trying 2 birds, 1 stone. I ain't got to cook. I just got to heat up water, dump it in, try it. Peaks. What'd you guys do? Reach out to us. What happened? Is it us? Did our taste buds change?
It could be. There was a big change though at some point.
Yeah.
Just remember the company. I can't find the name of the damn company, but they did freeze-dried sausage too.
Yeah. So this bear hunt we went on, Jake, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago. Jake almost died. It was his really first big hike in northern Idaho. And he had a heavy pack and a real heavy rifle. But he brought this queso and fucking wheat thins. Was that wheat thins, I think?
Yes.
God.
It's the tomato basil.
Yeah.
Like the red pepper, tomato basil, some shit like that. Wheat thins. Those are the shit.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. And it's so weird. Like you'd think that freeze-dried is freeze-dried. But it seems over at Gastronome and Pinnacle, their jalapeno, whatever.
That one's good.
Fuck, those are delicious. And you don't have that. I don't know. It's like not that bland fucking freeze-dried taste. So you're not gonna be able to find it, man.
Man, I am fucking trying my best right now.
Mason, what was that queso? You remember, Mason?
Packet Gourmet. There we go.
Packet
Gourmet. They have something else too. They'll do like a ramen helper. So you can bring you a pack of ramen and it's a bunch of extra shit that you add into it to make it better.
Would it work with pho?
Yeah, I bet. Pho, dude, those, I don't like those like translucent ass little thin noodles. Those are horrible. I like yakisoba. Like you get like that big meaty fucking noodle. You know you're eating a noodle.
Yakisoba.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when you go to pho and it looks like rice noodles in there. They're translucent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know those come out in the toilet the same way? I saw one floating around the Golden Corral one day.
See, right? That's the shit I'm talking about, dude. Right on the front, it said the Trailside Beef and Bean Burrito. That's what I'm talking about.
This
is Packet Gourmet. Yeah, they have all kinds of cool shit. I gotta look up
that
the queso.
Fucker is that queso. I mean, I guess I haven't tried a lot of quesos. I don't know if there's other quesos out there.
No.
That was between that and the Gastronome, in my opinion.
Yes.
Top shelf.
They do a chicken and dumplings also at Packet Gourmet.
Well, they got a beef.
Are you looking up there?
Yep.
Mason, find that. Go to the dinners.
Do they? Hey, and we're not
entrees.
We are not sponsored or paid by anybody, but those are my picks. This Packet Gourmet and Gastronome.
Oh, those chicken salads are badass too, dude, because those are cold water. So for lunch, you get that mesquite chicken salad and shit, and you just dump cold water in it, and like 30 minutes later, you're ready to go.
Back when you were a tree hugger and you did all that hiking?
Yeah, this is what I found this place.
Is that what you called cold soaked? Would you fucking set that? Is that the shit you'd set in there and let it soak for a while?
Yeah.
Soften it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's good, though.
Dude, they got a dab smash. God damn it, Mason.
You know, I'm getting pretty sad right now, but I can't find the queso. Oh, Dottie's Chicken and Dumplings. That's the shit right there. That one is good. You know, these guys, though, they're a little bit, I would say this, they're a little bit different when you're putting them together. it'll come in like a kit, right? And you're supposed to do this with this piece and this with this piece. And then, there's a hot sauce packet and there's this and there's this. It's not just dump the water in and go.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that some of their entrees and shit can be a little more difficult to construct. If that's all you want to do is dump water.
Yeah, you have to actually put a little effort into it.
A little bit of effort, yeah. Yeah.
They got it, Mace? No, I don't see it. Oh, down. One more. Keep going down. You were there. Right. One more. One more.
Cheddar.
Down.
Oh,
right
it's cheddar
there.
cheese.
Oh, fucking cheddar
Yeah, dude,
cheese.
I can't find the fucking queso, man. I know I have some at home, though.
Yeah, but what's your over and under? You have enough.
What's your over? How long is it going to fucking last?
How
Well,
long
around
is that
you two,
gonna
not
last?
very long. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I don't think Jake got a lot when me and Mason did that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, I don't think they have it anymore, Mace.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, actually.
They got
Oh, there you
cheddar
go. Cheddar jack cheese
spread. Well, fuck.
That one's good, too.
It's like everything that's good, they fucking quit making.
Yeah.
Mace, go to Pinnacle Foods real quick.
They're the ones with the jalapeno biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, and they had another one that I have at home, and like I said, I got to write shit down, or I don't remember the actual names. Go down. Yeah, that jalapeno cheddar biscuits and herb sauce gravy is freaking delicious.
I bet you that sticky teriyaki chicken right there is pretty fucking good, too.
Go.
That's my style.
Slide to the right. Nope. Keep going.
Ooh. Herb roasted chicken with white cheddar biscuit dumplings. It's like they know how to draw me right in.
That's your jam?
Yeah.
I don't think any of the ones that I have except for the jalapeno cheddar biscuit.
Oh, there you go. That one up there on the top. Italian sausage.
That's what I have.
With zesty tomato sauce.
That's the one I have.
That one's good.
That one wasn't in the list down below. Yeah. If I was to choose right now, and I don't, by no means do I know all of the freeze-dried food, but I've probably tried 10 to 12 different ones. It would be Gastronome and then that Pinnacle Foods. It's funny, they're both in Montana. One's in Missoula, one's in Bozeman.
When we were doing that testing before, I think we tested a couple other brands, and they weren't. Those were the best. And it's because of the whole big pieces of food.
I would love to, we should ask either one of those companies to come on. There has to be, do you think it could be like fresher ingredients, or there's just one step that they do that nobody else does? Or
dude, they just had a freeze dryer at Costco, and it was $2,000, something like that. And I thought to myself about trying that, you could make any meal that you wanted technically and lay it out on the tray and freeze dry it, and then just reconstitute it and see if it tastes the same.
There has to be some things that suck, but I heard like hard-boiled eggs are really good.
Yeah.
Freeze dried.
I love me some egg salad.
Well, I do like me egg salad sandwich.
Yes. But you got to have the pickles got to be in there, even some olives, some jalapeno. You got to have paprika. You got to treat it almost like a deviled egg, but you're turning it into the salad.
This is a fucking very serious question. Just fucking serious.
I can tell by your face.
Are you a mayonnaise or a Miracle Whip guy?
Definitely best foods, dude.
But Miracle Whip or mayonnaise?
That's mayonnaise.
Fucking mayonnaise, yeah.
Yes, definitely mayonnaise.
What the fuck is Miracle Whip?
I don't know. I tell you this, to be I've made my own mayonnaise. No shit.
Okay, what are the ingredients? It's like vinegar.
It's basically like egg whites and oil. There might be some other little shit in there too, but you're basically you're whipping egg whites with oil to a point where they combine in a certain way and it creates the mayo.
Why don't you just buy it?
That was when
it's cheap.
That was when I first quit drinking and smoking. I was doing my health kick and all that shit. And I wouldn't eat anything that wasn't basically like whole ingredients, including mayonnaise still has shit in it, whether they want to tell you it's the olive oil one or whatever. So Best Foods has an olive oil version.
Yeah, I like that one.
But if you read literally, like, basically look up how to make mayonnaise. And it's literally the easiest thing you can imagine if you just do it yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you know what what I think about Miracle Whip? I think about a fat chick just got done working out and it's like a secretion in her fat fold. And they fucking slab it off of her, slap it in a bottle and sell it to you. It's like that tangy shit.
You're so nasty.
Yeah, and
it does have it has a very specific tangy taste. Oh. It's like a sweet tang kind of thing, and you know that you're eating some Miracle Whip.
You know who's big in the Miracle Whip? From my limited Mormons.
Just all of them. Mormons love Miracle Whip.
Miracle eating motherfuckers.
Yeah. What does it say, Mace? What are the main ingredients? Okay, there you go. Egg yolk, mustard. Whisked into the eggs, you have a thick.
Oh, mustard, really?
You got to open it up, dude. That's a method. That's not the
basic mayonnaise recipes.
Yeah, open up a. Oh, so many choices.
He got stage fright.
Yep, he did.
Looking at the cookies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go down.
Just go down. A little bit.
Down. 2 egg yolks, mustard, and oil and vinegar.
I was going to say,
That's it, dude.
Vinegar, isn't it?
That's the whole fucking. But that's all of it. It's 4 ingredients if you just did it. But it don't last very long. You got to use. It doesn't have a long shelf life.
Well, you know, like you go in for a fucking good. You see a good potato salad.
Yeah.
You see a fucking good deviled. I love them. I could eat fucking 100 deviled eggs.
That's what makes egg salad so badass. It's like the never-ending deviled
Yes.
egg.
But then you'll see it, and your mouth is watering, and you take that bite, and it's fucking Miracle Whip. Fucking pisses you right
Ruins your day.
Fucking pisses you right off.
Dude, it's so easy now. So for egg salad, they have the fucking hard-boiled eggs at Costco. The giant pack of them. You just open all that shit up. You could do this shit.
Dude, I fuck up toast.
Chop up the fucking eggs with the pickle and the olive and the jalapeno at the same time and put your fucking paprika on there and then chop it all up, put it in a bowl, add the mayo. That's it.
You know, I knew Tanya was going to be gone for 11 days.
Mm.
I thought bullshitting you last week. I was like Monday, I was going to say, dude, what is it going to cost me just to throw me into your meal prep?
Could you bring me a box of stuff over?
Because Jake and Jess say fucking meal prep. And I was like, fuck, I should just have them ask him to fucking throw me in. I'll give him some money.
I'm easy. I can do the chicken and rice thing for lunch and dinner. And I just change the sauce, or you're home and you add some cheese and bacon or something extra. I don't count the macros. I don't even care how much of it that I'm eating. It's kind of clean. I try to eat as much as I can, actually, to be honest with you. I'm already fucking 4 pounds down since Monday just because I stopped eating sugar.
Well, you said go clean, and I wasn't really planning on doing anything, but I just want to eat cleaner.
Yeah.
Less sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the rice and chicken thing is just good because you know what you're putting into it. And it does make a difference, dude. For me, like lately I get like juices coming out my throat and shit like that. If I go eat some Mexican food somewhere, I'm fucked up.
Yeah. And when I eat the chicken and rice, we talked about that place. I got some, and then Tanya made some. Like what's the word? Satiation.
Satiated. Yeah.
Whatever that is.
You're full.
Yeah, it does seem to make you full longer to me.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try to make some shit on the Traeger. That's about the only place I don't fuck shit up, is the Traeger's pretty simple.
Yeah. You can overcook the shit out of that chicken though. You have to leave it where you think just on the edge of what you think might be raw. Those boneless chicken thighs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we probably get to the actual task.
Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about fucking scopes here.
Our I don't even know what the actual we had marching orders. What's the actual title?
It was supposed to be the top 5 recommended scopes for 2025 for hunting.
I got to 5. I did 5, but there's a very narrow path here. I am all about the drop tests, rock slide drop tests, eliminating variables. We've talked about this at length, but it's like you do all this shit to get this shot on public land. There's all these variables you can control. There's a lot of variables you can't. Your scope staying zeroed is one of them. So our 5 scopes are not going to be a shock to any rock slide members or anybody who listens to this podcast or anybody who's been around unknown munitions very long.
Yeah.
It's going to be 3 or 4 brands, and then there's going to be models inside there that we like.
I took a little different approach.
You fucking will because you're special like that.
Well, I told Luke that if you assign this to us because of the drop test, there are very limited choices. So I can't say my top 5 is going to be any different than your top 5. So I took the perspective of features of a scope and what you would be looking for as a hunter.
Oh, good.
So just going over all the different features,
Well, how do you want to break that down? Because I wrote down pretty much 6. I have an honorable mention here, but we can kind of talk about, I'll do one and then you do one. Go that way?
Yeah,
or do you want to do the feature list all together?
No, that works. Yeah.
And you can talk about whether you agree or where you'd have it in your lineup. And to me, it's my honorable mention, number 6.
Is this like 6 is the worst one out of the 6?
There's no worst I would use any of these. But
Okay.
I have a preference for one reason at the end, and it's going to be pretty blatant at the end of why I chose number 1 and why we're doing what we're doing later on in the year. Number 6 is the scope that kind of proved to me that scopes were different, and it's the Night Force NXS. I went down, all different kinds of other scopes, and I noticed every time I went to the range, shit was moving. And was it me? Was it cold shooter? Was my fucking action moving? Action screws? Was my fucking rings moving? And as soon as I changed the 2 scopes that I shot a lot to Night Force NXSs, it just went away. When I go to the range, I'd go hunting. When I'd check zero, it was just fucking zeroed.
Mm-hmm.
And that started this whole, not all scopes are the same.
The NXS is still available. It's a regular line in their, a regular scope in their line, right? It wasn't like the NX8 replaced it.
Nope.
Okay.
Still in their line.
And it's like 12.
They make a 3 to 15. They make a 4.5 to 22.
What's the price on those mace?
5.5 22. Their popular one is still, the most popular right now is a 2.5 to 10 by far.
On the left.
Find a dealer.
Well, you can go to like Euro Optic or something like that. Mace, you got to get on a retail
just
site.
click on any of those, it'd take you to one. Anyways, they're not cheap. There's, in my opinion, there's no.
It is like $1,200-$1,300, something like that, though, right?
Fuck, I think it's even more than that.
Really?
But it's just a bomb-proof scope. And they made a mil-spec version, and I had one for a while, and there's no warranty. It's like, basically it's not going to break the way they bonded in there. And I used it for a while. Night Force rifle scopes.
Bottom left.
You'd think that him being, 16, he'd be really technologically advanced.
Bottom middle. Top left. Oh, one more over. Oh, no. That'll work.
Slide down.
That'll work.
What's the price point here?
Oh, shit.
17, 19.
Damn.
That's
well,
the
with
one
the NX8 dude at $2,150, there's only a $400 difference there.
That 5.5 to 22 by 56 is the one I use the most and still own. But I've owned several 2.5 to 10 by 44.
More expensive too. That one's $2,000.
Yeah. And I've owned several of them, and man, they're just fucking bomb-proof. People bitch about the glass, but it's good enough. It'd take you to legal shooting light. It was funny because for a long time, they had 10 revs, MOA version. They had a 10 rev, and they went to a big 20 rev, and you could send it in and go from 10 to 20 rev. I think it was 10 to 20. It was to 20. I don't remember if it was at 10. It might have been 12. You could send it in to Orofino, Idaho, and get it changed. Pretty cool. That was the first one, was a good zero stop. Anyways, that's my number 6, and they're still good today. If you needed a scope with, big magnification, which I don't really love the high-end magnification anymore, but it's a hard scope to beat.
I love the high magnification.
I know, we're going to talk about that.
I can't see shit.
It's not like, I think more of it's glass and focus, and I think you'd be okay.
Could be. I can barely read the back of a package anymore, so I don't know.
How's your far vision? Still good?
Yeah, the far's good. I don't know how it ties in though, because my vision has went to shit from last hunting season to this hunting season, so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll see.
But you're special.
I like to blow it up though. I like to see aim small, miss small.
I don't think that's
Of course, that's not what form teaches and how you're shooting now.
I panned it out. Well, we can talk about that. So we'll talk about that later. But
yeah,
start your features.
Dude, I'll put it on 32 at 100 yards.
If you're zeroing, I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah.
But there's also the flip side. I'll talk about it now.
We're covering magnification range. Magnification range.
Get into your features.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Good.
Right now we're talking. Yeah, we're going to cover magnification.
We proved this out with Tanya. So, and this is on my list at number 5 is SWAFA 6 by 42, and for this one reason, it proved it to me, it proved it to Tanya, and it proved it to Mason. Not fucking around with your scope and just shooting that 6. You get used to it and you don't miss. And then Tanya, we proved this out at last year's shooting school. She shot better groups with that 6 power than she did with the Trijicon 10 mile at 12 to 15 power. She shot better 100 round groups.
No shit.
Because she can't, I'm guessing, and Form could tell us more of his theory on it. You can't fucking see your holes. There's nothing to worry about because you can't see shit. You're just literally quartering up on that inch dot and pulling the trigger. And you can't see the actual fucking dots, to fucking mentally fuck yourself. I'm guessing because she shot phenomenally better 100-yard groups with that 6 SWAFA than she did with the 10 mile.
I feel like if you have the X, right, you're on your what are you on 6 power, you said?
Yeah, it's a fix.
On 6 power, if I'm down looking at the target, dude, I'm not able to fixate on any fine point at all. Like I feel like the finer point that I can fixate on, the more accurate it has to be. Right? I understand the rifle moving and all that kind of shit, but like so at 6 power and my the target I'm aiming at is like this. Mm-hmm. Well, I could be on the top corner of that or the bottom corner of that, and it's still covering it up. I can't really tell that I'm in the middle of that inch. Whereas when I'm on 32, I can tell when I'm in the middle of the fucking inch. And if I'm, edging towards one of the corners or not, or it has to be a finer measurement.
I think of military wise, and I again, this is just my opinion. I think you're just like with peeps on M4s in the Army when you're shooting peep sights for the muzzleloader, or soon to be seasons here, we're going to be back to shooting peep sights. Your eye naturally centers it up. And I think you start to, when you're on 32 power, and I notice that I do this a little bit when I'm on 32 power, because I have a few of those scopes and actually one's on my list. I'll start seeing that wobble and kind of, instead of just squeezing natural point of aim, natural pressure, I'll kind of like get to where I think it is, and then I'll just kind of speed the system up.
Yes.
To where when I can't see it, I just squeeze it through, and I can quarter, even at 100 yards with a 1-inch dot, and this goes to a bigger thing, you can quarter it up pretty well. You can see enough bushy pink flesh or orange flesh on each side to be in the middle in your mind. And then an animal, we way overthink it. A deer, an elk, a bear, you're going to be able to quarter that up to 8,000 yards, even at 6 power. In the reticle, if you can see 4/4 of the animal, you know where you're aiming.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my opinion. I don't have enough. I don't have any facts that that's true. It's just from my size. Tanya is without a doubt. She shot better. She shot almost a 1/4 inch better. I think 5 different groups from 5 and 5, the 6, and I think it was like 12 to 15 power on the 10 mile. Every one of the 6 were smaller.
Enhance your shooting experience with STOCKY'S stocks. Are you tired of struggling with mediocre rifle stocks that hinder your performance? Imagine having a high-quality rifle stock that not only enhances your accuracy, but also provides superior strength and a lightweight build. STOCKY'S Stocks offers a wide range of premium rifle stocks manufactured with hand-lay-up carbon fiber construction, a patented carbon fiber AccuBlock, and multiple finish options. Whether you're a long-range shooter or a hunting enthusiast, our stocks are perfect for you. Experience unmatched precision and durability with STOCKY'S stocks. We provide stock installation instructions, technical support, and guidance to help you choose the right stock for your rifle. Upgrade your shooting game today with STOCKY'S stocks.
I've never tried it on 6, so I couldn't say one way or another. I just know that in my tendency as soon as I pull up, I just want to rank it all the way up.
And the biggest factor going in magnification is your field of view shrink. So when you shoot, like Mason had a big problem when we shot those cow elk, because you were telling him to get on and you were going to your Kestrel, which you fixed all that problem with just having a rangefinder binocular. But he said twice, I can't find it. And you look down and he was on like 26. So I don't know if it was me or Forum that reached down and spun it back.
Yeah.
We put him back to like 12 or 15 and bigger field of view. So that's
definitely,
to me, that's the biggest thing for hunting is bigger field of view, find the animal, kill the animal quicker.
How about this? What if the elk is at 1,200 yards? You're on 6?
Never done that.
No fucking way.
I've never shot that.
So you ain't gonna see no elk at 6 at 1,200 yards.
I'll tell you this. I shot the whole, I used another one on my list, the Maven 1.2. I used that the whole NRL hunter and it stayed right on 9. And the longest shot was not 12. I've never done 6 at 1,200, but my longest shot was, I think, 950. And it was shooting a fucking little, I think it was a raccoon at 950, and I had no problems hitting it.
No shit.
So, but I do see what you're saying. If you got to be able to quarter up the target, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to have some kind of a precise aiming point.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I love dots instead of a fucking reticle that has continuous crosshairs.
Yeah.
Because the dot, you can pinpoint it, even if it is a smaller magnification.
Yeah. I just see this elk at 1,200 yards, and one of the variables might be your point of aim. And if you have the potential or you have an additional 12x, if you're on 20 and you get to go up to 32, imagine you're going to go up to 32 to check yourself. Or why wouldn't you go to 32 if you knew it was going to give you a better point of aim on that first shot?
It's got to be somewhere in there's diminishing returns where that magnification is only hurting you at the field of view side once your shot takes. We know what we need to do is next time we go to Rock Lake, I'll take that 6 power.
Yeah.
And we'll just try it.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Because that elk's like 13 something out there.
Yeah.
So we can go give it a shot. Actually, no, they never shot 6 power that far.
It'd be fun.
It would be fun.
So magnification range is an important feature on your hunting scope. There's fixed, there's variable. We're talking about a fixed 6, right? The SWAFA fixed 6 versus a variable where you can, use your scope for both close and long range combat.
And it goes to another thing where the more X zoom that scope is, like the NX8's 8X, not outside of night forces, the bigger that zoom range, the more issues it seems to have holding zero.
Yep.
So you see like a vortex there, like, what is it, a 5 to 40, 5 to 35?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Crosley, he ran it for a whole NRL season, or not a whole, but multiple events, and he's had to drop it because it just wouldn't hold zero. So I'm not singling them out, but the more bells and whistles, the bigger X zoom.
Well, it makes sense.
The more issues you
more
can have.
moving parts.
Yep.
So imagine that X power. So it's a 8X to go from 4 to 32. Whatever that is traveling inside, it's just a longer distance to travel to move the glass apart. Yeah.
More guts, but it's weird. Like, well, it is 8X2. The Night Force I've had the most trouble with, which is 2 different scopes. Both of them I own, was a 2.5 to 20, and I think that it's an 8X and it's compacted. So it's like everything's opinion again. I like to state, if I know it as a fact or opinion, it's opinion. Everything's fucking tight, and everything seems to fucking have issues. Fucking holding zero, clicking. Their parallax is really fucked. I sent it in twice for the parallax, and it got real clicky. And it wouldn't focus. Like I would have the words at 100 yards, I'd shoot this target, and the words at the top would be in focus, and the words at the bottom would be out of focus. So I don't know if that compactness makes it difficult.
Well, I think that's probably pretty well known that the 2.5 to 20 probably has more issues than the 4 to 32.
I've had 2, and I know of 4 others, so 6, and that's every fucking scope's a mechanical device and can have problems. Night Force seemed to have almost the least amount of problems, but that singling out that 2.5 to 20, it seems to be a little problem child for them.
I put price range all the way at the top because I think if you are limited by a $950 price range, or you're limited to $1,950 or so on, that you have to start with your price range because it's going to eliminate a lot of your choices. So, like we've talked about a scope now that's $1,400. The RS1.2 is $1,200. You mentioned that one, right? Or you mentioned a different one. The NX8 is $2,150 if you're after the most popular, which is the 4 to 32 F1 MOA version is $2,150 retail.
Yeah, on my list, the SWFA is like $300.
Yes.
But the most expensive scope on my list is a Night Force ATAC-R, and I think it's like $3,000.
For the 7 to 35?
No, I like the 4 to 16.
Oh, shit.
Little tiny guy, but it's it's a bomb-proof little scope, but it's like $3,000.
Really?
I think the 7 to 35 is over 3, and that's right at 3, or maybe a little under.
35.
The price is to me right now, and this will bear out in my top 5, is the 1.2 is hard to beat.
There is presently supposedly the most popular scope in the series, but there is presently a PRS style scope that is $6,000 plus.
Who makes it?
I think so I just watched that Area 419. They did a pretty in-depth scope comparison. It was a Tangent Theta. I think it was Tangent Theta. Mason, bring up a Tangent Theta scope Tangent Theta sight.
Form Drop tested the one, it failed, but it was like 5,200.
Yeah, so this one was 6,200.
Motherfucker, high zoom.
Yes, all of them were in the. So one thing I really was looking for commonality between the scopes that they chose to test. Of course, ZCO was in there, and they said that was one of the top ones. It was ZCO, Vortex, Night Force 7 to 35. They had the Tangent Theta, and then one other big one. But yeah, they were all 40 ounces or more.
Holy shit!
Wide fucking zoom ranges. But from a hunting perspective, obviously none of those is what you're going to go after. We haven't got to the weight category yet, but there you go. That's fine. Euro Optic is fine. We're looking for prices.
Struggle bus, Mace. Struggle bus.
There you go. Go down. How about sort by price? Well, that one right there is $55.77.
Fuck, that's might as well be $6,000 to me.
Sort by price of high. It's right in the middle of the screen, son. Sort by high to low. 63.35, 62. Oh, there it is. 62.47. So those Tangent Theta T1 7 to 35P 7 to 35 by 56 36 mil tube trimmer 3 reticle $6,247. Now to go back to what I started with was price range. So obviously we literally have just talked about a $300 scope and a fucking $6,200 scope.
I had no idea.
Me neither. I seen that price. I was like, good God. And it's not even, look how tall the turret is up top. I mean, it's not as like it's the most sexy scope you ever seen.
People absolutely go gaga over the tangent betas, and they were one of the worst scopes we ever tested.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah,
Oof.
anyways, price range, start there, figure out what you have to spend. And generally, some people talk about it like the wedding ring type of rule. Like you should spend so much more on your scope than you should your rifle or something like this. But we know of a $300 scope that gets the job done. I don't know if it'd be for me, but.
Yeah. I can't believe that fucking thing's 60. I thought like 5 was like about the top.
That's got to be the most expensive scope out there.
What does it get you? It's interesting. What does it get you? I'm like so out of that genre though, out of that realm. I'm always looking for, let's get close to 20 ounces as possible.
Well, like that up against the Attacker 7-35 F1 at $3,500. I mean, I think that what they said about that one, I did not watch the whole review, but I did stop and I listened to what they said about the Night Force on the review part. And basically they said that it was good in every category, but it was not a standout in any category.
The Tangent Theta?
The Night Force 7-35.
You know what it does fucking do though?
Doesn't lose 0.
Days fucking 0.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
But that was fun. So obviously they didn't do any type of 0 retention test as part of their review.
Right.
As if they had, maybe things would be a little different.
And how they do it.
Yeah.
It seems like these manufacturers, they know what their scopes can and can't do, so they'll make something that it can do. And one of the things that most scopes...
Collis was the other one.
Collis, that's Swirl's sister company. What most of these scopes can't do, outside of the ones I'm all going to list, is side impacts, which is... People always test the recoil front to back.
Yeah.
And always freaking...
Well, in their defense, that is the direction of recoil.
It is, but what's a hunter? Like a hunter is going to fucking fall. It's not going to be on the front and back very often.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be on the parallax or the windage. And it doesn't seem like, prove me I'm wrong, you can email us in here. I don't know anybody that's testing side impacts, which my fat ass falls down. Your big ass falls down.
We know Mason be tested some side impacts.
Mason falls down just standing there. He about wiped out the whole podcast room earlier today. But it's fucking $6,000.
$6,000. That's the topic of today.
Good God.
That's more than almost the most expensive rifle we could put together for you would be.
Speaking of that, so you would have 12. You build a pimped out UM with a Bat Vesper.
Yeah.
What's that run you?
$5,500.
And then you're gonna fucking turn around and you're gonna have 12 fucking grand into a rifle system, no ammo.
Yep.
That isn't even with your rings.
That doesn't hold 0.
Well, we can't say that one doesn't.
Yeah,
the one we tested didn't.
Yeah, we don't know.
All right.
But that's not even in the hunter's spectrum anyway. I mean, you do not want to put a 44-ounce scope on your fucking hunting rifle.
Yeah, those are PRS.
We have guys that are calling in right now that they want their rifle all decked out to hit 6 pounds. So you're not going to put 2.5 pounds of that with a scope. Yeah.
But we might have something soon for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're not going to eat, but you're not going to put a 2.5 pound scope trying to hit a 6 pound hunting rifle,
Yeah, it's like two different worlds.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't want, like, I used to think I wanted 16, I go Idaho legal because I can shoot a long ways. Then that gets old. And then I wanted a 6 pound rifle.
Yeah.
That fucking doesn't kick and knocks down trees.
We talked about what we know from Lowe now from the project that we're working on and the fact that you have to have a balance between price and durability and quality and these things. So you would think if you had the heaviest fucking scope on the market with the highest price on the market, that you should be able to have the durability part built in there.
Well, it goes back to talking to Lowe. It's the recipe. What's your number one?
Yeah.
Is it glass? Is it zoom range? Is it this 0 stop? What is your number one? If it's not durability, then it's going out the window right at the front.
No.
Where does durability factor in? And to me, as a hunter, like I said, public land, 99% of the time, my shit has to stay 0. So number one is durability and 0 retention. And that's I don't know. I can't say it. I can't speak for these companies. But 0 retention.
Let's say for a moment that was the best 0 retaining scope on the market at that price point and that weight. Would it even be considered anyway?
No,
I don't think so.
No, that is marketed to PRS ERL guys.
Yeah.
I'm kind of flabbergasted about that price point. I didn't know that.
Well, I had to bring that up.
Huh.
Okay. Next thing on my list. So we did price range and magnification range, objective lens. the average objective lens size that I read was 40. Hunters tend to go for a smaller, lower profile, smaller objective lens, but there are some drawbacks to the smaller objective. So it gathers less light. It's probably the big one. It's also going to be heavier the bigger objective you go. Obviously, the whole housing and everything on the scope gets bigger. So what do you think the sweet spot is for you?
Let me tell you. 44.
That sounds about right. It's a 50. On the NX8 is a 50. So you think 44 with good glass is enough of an objective size to get you through legal shooting light is the point?
Yes. So I've played this out lots of times at shooting light, heavy overcast, dead of winter, November, December. Pretty much any scope on my list and almost any scope that we are going to talk about, whether it's hold zero or not, is going to take you past legal shooting light. Pretty much. There is, and I don't know if you have it in there is one fundamental problem difference in is F1, F2 in there? And, okay. We'll get to that reasoning. But glass-wise, there's two schools of thought. I'm a Western hunter, so I do want a little bit of zoom range, and I do need low light performance. But I'm also going to pack it around. So I want it as close to 20 ounces as I could get and still be able to shoot to 1,000 yards. That's my goal. I put enough time and effort. I know I'm very competent out to 1,000 yards. I want my rifle and my aiming device, my weapon system, be able to do that on demand. To where if I had this discussion with Brian Broderick on the way home from shooting Dill Guy. He's like, okay, you guys are going to make a scope. This is what you need to follow it. And he's right, because I did a real research. I was going to bring it up to you and for him. He's like, we need a 7 or 8 fixed by 56. And I was like, why would the fucking you need that? He's like, dude, you would own all the whitetail hunters out east. And it would be a big holdover into the western states too. He's like, because they are all about low light. They're all about right at dark when they shoot those deer.
8X is not too much, huh?
8, or he said 7 would be great. Yeah. So they all use, and I don't even know if they make them anymore, but they use Schmidt and Bender 8. I think he said 8 power by 56.
Huh.
And he's like it's like a cult following. And I looked it up, and he's right. Like those Eastern hunters want a fixed powered fucking high light transmission scope.
Yeah. It still seems like 8 might be you guys are shooting out to basically 1,000 yards, let's say, with 6X. 8X seems like a little much for a guy sitting in a tree stand staring at the ground.
I don't remember this. We talked about 7 and 8 so much. I don't remember which was which, but he said that's all they would use. Hog hunting, deer killing. And when you go to Texas, like I just came back, all you would need is a 7 or 8 power because you're not shooting past 200 yards very often. Just not. And so he's like, why don't you do that in a 56 and a 30 mil tube? And that's another kind of a lie people always think the tube size gives you light transmission. It does nothing for you. That's just travel.
The tube size, is elevation travel, which generally equates to on a Night Force scope would be 30 millimeter tube for 100 MOA of travel, and then a 34 mil tube for 120 MOA of travel. So you're getting the extra 20 MOA.
Yep.
Which if you just put a 20 MOA, but most guys don't. So you guys understand the elevation travel. If I have 100 MOA of travel into my NX8 and I have a 0 canted rail or rings installed, that means you're getting 50 MOA of up travel. If you add a 20 MOA canted rail underneath your scope, that gives you an additional 20, so you would have 70 MOA of travel. Most guys, 70 MOA of travel is more than enough elevation to get to where you need to shoot without having to hold anything in the reticle. But you can run your ballistics tool, whatever it is that you're using, and look at the chart and figure out where 70 MOA or whatever the mil equivalent is, figure out what that is and how far that's going to get you and make sure that's, beyond where you'd like to be able to hunt to.
Yeah, for most of these scopes, especially a 30 mil, unless you're shooting a fucking 30-30, you're going to be able to get to 1,000 yards pretty easy.
Yes, definitely.
Even with a 0.
Yeah. Well, what's your next one?
Number 5, we talked about already. Number 5 would be a SWFA or a SWAFA, as they say, 6x42 with the, it's the mil quad reticle, because I think they only have one.
Let's pull SWAFA up. Let's see what they have in stock. Does it still seem to be an issue with?
Luke just got his, but I don't know when he ordered it.
And when he just got the one that people are always after is the.
How much is that baby?
This is the SS version, which is what is the SS?
Super Sniper.
Okay, so it's the better glass.
No, it's not HD. HD is a better glass.
HD is
Super
a better
Sniper is
glass.
just, I think the model has a little bird dude on the side. Or
Does it
whatever
not
is.
tell you the price there?
Sold out.
Oh, they don't give you the price.
I think it was $299, $349, somewhere in there. Go to Rifle Scopes real quick, Mace. And then go to the
Gen 2.
go to Gen 2.
What's the ultralight? I don't remember seeing ultralight.
I don't hang out on this website. This is
Yeah.
not my favorite scope.
Yeah.
But they fucking hold zero. That 10 power is pretty popular. Go down. And that 3 to 15 super popular. $749. Really, really cost effective.
Yes. Go back to the menu where it said ultralight. Rifle scopes, ultralight. 379. Oh, a 2.5 to 10.
There are no turrets.
Yep.
Go back up there one more time.
If you
Rifle
notice,
scope.
the sold out signs seem to be very prevalent.
Go to the Swafa SS. That 3 to 9 super popular too.
Yeah, that one's in stock.
Fucking $600.
$600.
Yeah,
I've asked
very
these guys
popular.
now a couple times if they were going to ever have a dealer account.
They said no. They
They
can't even
said-
keep them in stock.
Yeah, they're still saying no.
Yeah, so that scope is changing my mind. It took 2 different people. Nobody knows the other guy, but Form and this other guy kept telling me, you got to try that 6, especially for your wife getting into shooting. And I fought it, but once she got it, we put it on there. I enjoy shooting that 223 with it, and she loves shooting the 223 with it.
Mm.
Because there's nothing to fuck with. You focus it and you shoot it.
You remember we did that competition at Fernan when we were offhanding the 223? It was your 223?
Mhm.
What scope was on that?
That one.
Which one?
The 6 power.
Fuck, because I hit all the way up to the 400 offhand with that 6 power.
I'm telling you, it's not a thing.
Huh.
Yeah, it's been on there for like 5 years.
Yeah, no shit.
4 years, yeah. It's like a mind thing because I'm the same boat you were. I was like, more magnification. I wanted at least 18, 15 max. And then I started shooting that thing a lot, and I'm like, to 1,000 yards? Like I said, I've never shot 1,200. I shot 1,000 a lot. Doesn't matter.
Well, fuck, for the Swafa Fix 6, was it $299? That's worth even
Somewhere
just
right in
trying it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The resale value on Rockslide is pretty good if you don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, your next one.
Next is Reticle. And I included MOA and mill in that just because.
So for my, and just to back up, all these scopes that I've used are in mill version, and they're all all F1s now, all first focal plane.
So, well, did I put F1? We can talk about first focal here too. One of the things in the reticle, I put it can potentially block your view. So if you have this big fucking tree style reticle that's not meant for what you're doing, it could potentially block the animal you're trying to look at or something else. First and second focal plane. The argument for first focal plane is always you could hold windage in the reticle.
At any zoom range.
At any zoom range. There are some scopes in second focal plane from Night Force. There's an NX8 that has a 16 and a 32 on the windage, so you can be at half mag or full magnification.
Mm-hmm.
That's, of course, if you're ever going to hold wind in the reticle. If you're a wind dialer, which I think is just fine too, if that's your thing.
If you want to be slow in 1999.
A lot of people start that way.
I did, but
when Mason was young, I didn't tell him to hold wind. I fucking dialed it for him.
It just, like, I don't want to keep harping, but it goes to a bigger point of make it simple, make it quick, and eliminate variables.
Yeah.
Because inevitably, I've seen it happen so many times, you'll dial the wind, shoot, hit, miss, something shit happens. You forget that fucker's dialed 2 mils or 2 minutes or whatever it is, and then you start doing your old holds inside the scope, and it becomes this catastrophe.
I think, like we said before, we were talking about humans making mistakes and accidental discharge. What do you call? What is the
ND?
What is it?
Negligent.
Non-negligent discharge.
Mhm.
Okay. Accidental discharge. I mean,
80, yeah.
I guess accident gives you an excuse rather than negligent sounds much worse.
Negligent means you're dumbass.
You fucked something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did something wrong. There's no accident here.
I like the term ND because the 2 that I've done in my life, I was a dumb fuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
own up to it, I guess.
So to go back to that, I guess if your process that you've taught yourself and that you've shot your whole life was always to dial wind, you wouldn't have the issues you're talking about. Because you would just always be dialing wind. You'd never be trying to hold at any point, right? It would be a muscle memory thing for you at that point.
It is, and it's it's harder to learn how to hold wind in the reticle than it is just, so that's how we all seem to start. Like you being a dad or me helping Tanya, or when I first went with Carlock, learning from him, everything was, we dialed windage. So that's how I learned.
Yeah.
But then I started you start fucking seeing all these things that proof out over time, and you start fucking up shots because you did dial in, then you forget.
And Carlock school too it was a lot of ELR shit, which was take your time. The animal's not going nowhere. It's a 1,500 yard shot, so dialing was okay.
Ambush hunting, belly shooting, or prone shooting.
Yeah. And even even the best of us, I'm talking about myself, of course, when we're out shooting at the Night Force ELR Still Challenge, and I'm shooting with my partner Ryan here. There was an occasion, just under, you're under duress, you're under time, you're stressed out, you're physically exhausted, things like this. It's raining, something's going on. Both of us at some point during the competition held wind on the wrong side of the reticle. It just happened. I mean, it was a human mistake. It was that. So that's what holding wind on the reticle, the hardest part for me. And I would ask you, I'd be like, okay, so am I looking to the left of the target or the right of the target?
Yep. And you always, simple thing trained up is you always point the barrel into the wind.
Yeah, shoot into the wind is how I always, that's how I get myself through it. But back then I still wasn't a wind holder. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to adapt to something that I had never, because I was with Mason like that whole time before. So we were just dialing. But there was no time to dial wind in that competition.
No. And I don't give a shit how long you've shot. I was shooting with another friend that shot a lot, and 2 weeks ago, and he fucking held the wrong. I mean, it happens. Human nature, man. We talked about fucking checklist manifesto. Yeah, you got to have somebody check your shit, and you got to practice, get muscle memory down, or no matter what.
When you're fucked is when you think you're perfect, and you don't need anybody to help you or to double check you or that you're that good.
That's when you argue with somebody that's knows a lot, and you keep telling them the fucking teak is not seated to the lug is not seated, and they argue with you for 20 minutes. He's driving in today, and you say that motherfucker's not seated on the lug, and then you find out that it's not seated on the lug, and he argued with you for an hour about it.
No.
Yeah. No. That kind of shit. Yeah. Nobody's perfect, and you should take the ego out of it. You should have people check your shit. Simple, and that'll help you get better quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Part of the quality control that we implemented on the rifle line was, and all of our guys are good. And I just told a story about how I left some scope rings loose, and I thought I was a badass and this and that. But double check. Everybody gets a double check, and it's very simple visually. You catch things that the other guy didn't see. I left a fucking scope ring cap or some screws loose, and you can see that they were higher than the others, and my other guy caught me. And
this is like I'm not pumping up UM here, but I've been here pretty much from the beginning. Seen UM grow. Awesome shit. The thing I can tell you about UM that nobody else knows except for people that were here from the start, and Jake's biased, so I'm outside looking in on a lot of things. What he has done with his guys right now, there's been some they've tripped a little bit on a few things QC-wise. His dudes and him doing the QC, every one of them gives a fuck. It's like their rifle. No. The rifle you're getting from them now is like they are going to go hunting the next day with it. And you can tell they all, like if you met Taylor, he's an anal little bastard. You met Keaton, he's an anal little bastard. Yeah. If you met Alex, he's goofier than shit, but he's an anal little bastard. Yeah. And they all want to give you a product that they would take hunting too, which I appreciate from the consumer side myself.
Yeah. So what I like is when when we get the good feedback from the customer about something they did with the rifle, and they print the email and the pictures out, they put them up on the inside the shop there, and it gives you something to look at, because you do treat it like it's your own, and then it goes out the door and you kind of never see it again. And then you might, you'll recognize it a year later from an email or something that we did. And that's pretty awesome. It really
is. Even I just went hunting Nilgai. I brought the 2 rifles I took and I handed them to Keaton. I said, dude, will you just do a 1 minute once over? He didn't find anything, but he could have, because I may have missed something. I didn't want to fucking go all the way to Texas, pay money to shoot Nilgai and fuck it up. So yeah, matters.
Yeah, and there's things that you learn over time. Like we, sometimes we would Loctite things, sometimes we wouldn't. Then we were introduced to paint pen, and then some things we would paint pen, other things that we wouldn't. And before we know it now, every fucking screw on the rifle now, whether the customer wants it or not, to be honest with you, gets degreased and paint penned. And now we're learning that paint pen color matters. There are some paint pen colors that don't cure the same way as others. And the quality of the paint pen matters too. But, and then it even went from when I went over there a few weeks ago and we were all doing our thing, I kept asking the guys, okay, what are you guys doing on this from now on? Or what are you doing on this? And some guys would say Loctite, some guys would say paint pen at certain spots. I said, okay, from now on, everybody is paint pen on every damn thing. And then we're all doing the same thing.
Same SOP.
Yes. So they, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And not that Loctite is better than paint pen or the other way around. It is in some cases. But just to make sure everything's being built and torqued the same way all the time. Everybody has like, the same set of fix-it sticks all the way across now, and not that adjustable one. Everybody's got the preset. I like that shit. I like having the right tool for the right job. I've already put together too many damn Tikka bolts. They strip the Tikka bolts all the way down when they when they start tearing the rifle down for it to go through the process. And it was a little bit of a learning curve for me to get back into the groove there, but I'm happy to be out there and helping again. Pretty exciting.
It's funny to see you out there.
It is.
Yeah.
It feels funny. It feels great to be out there is the right term. And now I find myself ignoring some of my admin duties so that I can keep using my hands.
There's probably a little bit of therapeutic value out there to you.
It is. I mean, I keep all those guys have headphones in. I use that little speaker box just because I want to be available in case somebody walks up. But dude, you get into kind of a groove, putting the rifle together. And I'm on the privileged side because I'm doing final fits, which means that I get to do the fun task, which is to put everything together once it's already been done. So you kind of see the rifle come together. And I guess I'm kind of taking advantage of the situation in that way, but that's the fun part.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
What I think's funny is I talk to myself so much out there because I don't know the motherfucker has headphones in. I'll be talking to him for like a minute.
Yep.
And they'll look at me and go, what?
What'd you say?
And then he'll take his headphones out. So now I tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the zone. You're doing your thing. And
Cerakoting's boring. They got to listen to something.
Yeah, they got to do something back there.
Mm-hmm.
So did we? Okay, so then on the reticle, we covered first and second focal plane illumination.
Mm-hmm.
There are states where illumination or any type of electronics are illegal, and that's true in Idaho. But we leave the battery out.
Yep.
Right. BDC type of reticles. If you have a 22 rimfire, they make scopes that are all set up for typical rimfire ammo at a certain velocity, and you just hold it at the yardage, BDC type reticles. And then I think one of the more important things is understanding your fucking reticle. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a reticle and I'm like, what the, like, is that fucking subtension? Is that 0.2 right there? Is that 0.1? What does that one over there mean? Or what does that mean? So I think whatever scope you do have, at least make an effort to understand what you're looking at. And maybe that means that you could use something in the future that you wouldn't have otherwise used. But most guys, I think, are just looking through a scope and they're like, I would maybe even 90% of hunters, and they're just looking at the middle. Mm-hmm. They don't give a fuck what else is going on around there or more or less use it.
There's no fucking standard either. I can tell you that. Not. Every reticle, there is some things that are normal. Like if you have a crosshair in the middle, the left crosshair, usually if it's in mils, that's like a half a mil or something to the edge of it. But you got to look it up online and figure out what that is.
Yes. They're not all numbered. No, so you'll see a 5 over here. So you're trying to graduate out 0 to 5, but then there's 2 hashes on the top and then 2 hashes on the bottom. And then it skips a little bit. Then it puts a whole hash. You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dude, and some of them in mils, they go 2 tenths. Some go 2.5 tenths.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck. And then you got to count it out and make sure you're right. But it's all just knowing. I mean, you should know that before you're shooting at live animals, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have the F1 discussion without reticles, because as a whole, I mean, a generality, reticles suck at the lower zoom range with the first focal plane because they get really fucking small and hard to see.
No.
And that's why my number one is my number one on the scope. And the scope that we're designing, the reticle is kind of like the pinnacle of the scope because you can see it from 3 to 14. You can see it just almost.
Did you really put your own shit at number 1?
No.
Oh.
I can't. We don't have it yet.
I thought that's what you were I thought that's what you were saying.
No, but the reticle that...
the one that we're doing, the reticle is important.
I had a say in the reticle that the number 1 is. So... Number 4 for me is the Nightforce ATAC R4 to 16 by 42 F1, of course, first focal plane. I use Mil C. Everything from Nightforce is a Mil C to me. The Mil C reticle's simple, really easy to watch. 2 tenths graduations.
How heavy is that?
That's the reason I don't use it, because it's 32 ounces.
That's not horrible though compared to the rest of the fucking attackers.
Yeah, but you're fucking you drop 4 ounces off the Tikka, you drop 4 ounces off the scope, you're at a half a fucking pound now. You're taking off the rifle for that fucking suppressor. Yep. So all those ounces cutting adds up.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's probably right there, maybe even more so than NXS and bomb proof. It's just heavy. It's a 4 to 16 by 42, which I love that zoom range, but it's expensive, which really isn't that, luckily for me, not that big of a concern, but it's just heavy. And I don't love the Mil C reticle because you get that even in the 4 to 16, you get that below 10. And, people say this never happens to me. And then it does. My scope never loses 0. Then it fucking does, you know. I never get flat tires, and I got 3. So it shit happens.
You do have the worst fucking luck in everybody.
And I was like, I never fucking see animals in the timber. And then bam, you do, and you can't fucking find them in the reticle. Yeah. So that's why it's number 4. And I'll do 2 right now. The next one is the scope on the table. It's a Nightforce NX8 4-32 by 50 mil C. I like it because it's like 27 ounces ish, 28 ounces somewhere. So you're knocking off 4 ounces from the ATAC-R.
That includes caps.
Yep. And there is a reason we didn't talk about magnification. The cool thing about that is, say you're trying to kill a cow in a fucking herd of elk, and those cows are out there at 700-800 yards. Well, inevitably there's spikes, raghorns. The cool thing about that fucking size is I can zoom it up when I'm looking at them, and I can see, okay, that's a cow, that's a bull, blah, blah, blah. And I don't try to shoot there, but I can zoom it up to, it can be my quasi spotter. And I'm not saying just willy-nilly point your rifle, but you know, you're on animals, you're about ready to shoot. You can actually look through the animals.
Yeah. The other thing we failed to mention was the gathering light part. You know, you have this objective, let's say a 50 millimeter objective. Well, also if you back off of your magnification, you increase your light. Yep. So even if you didn't ever want to use the 20 to 32 part, you can tell yourself that, well, at last light, if I'm backed off to 20, you know, that 32 that's going to give me a lot more light at the last minute.
Yeah. So it gives you more light. You can actually see more animals, you know, just your bigger field of view, period. And yeah, so that is a plus, I guess, the one thing. Or, you know, like chasing, like I did use a higher zoom. I think I only went to 18, but I was up there when I didn't shoot at those bucks. We were chasing those does because there's 3 bucks, 2 does. Fucking, I didn't end up killing the deer. If I'd had a mil scope at that time, I would have, and known the quick drop. But I kept zooming in to see if it was the big buck or not, because you think, oh, he's a 180-inch buck. But dude, that last 10 minutes of light on overcast days, it gets fucking dark quick.
Fast.
Shadows look a lot. Sticks look like a lot of things. I don't want to shoot a little forked horn when there's a 180 buck standing there.
Yeah.
So
that one, the one he just grabbed on the table, that's the NX8 4-32 F1 mil. That's the part number C625. Its partner, the MOA, the C624, is probably the scope that we sell the most with rifle builds.
Hard to beat.
Yeah. There still is a very large MOA crowd out there, especially amongst hunters.
Oh, fuck.
And it is more popular.
Like breakdown wise, because I only see it, Rockslide's kind of its own little, I wouldn't say it's an echo chamber, but it's a lot of the same mines. MOA to mil breakdown for you right now in the last year, percentage wise.
Oh, I think it's probably 70-30.
Which way?
70-30 to MOA.
30 is MOA?
70 is MOA.
No shit.
Like so that's a C625. The C624, which is his MOA sister.
Yeah.
We sell more of that scope in particular than any other scope.
Wow.
Than maybe all other scopes combined.
That's crazy.
Now, we have done a lot with the Mavens lately, and we do sell more mil of the Mavens, but that's because of Rockslide.
Yeah.
That's because the lure of the Maven, most customers hear about that. I don't know if Maven will tell you that, but, you know, after the drop test and whatnot, I think Rockslide made that scope so popular that you can't get the mil. The MOA versions you'll find in stock very often.
Yeah.
The mil version you do not find in stock.
Absolutely. What's the price? What is that, like $2,000?
$2,150 retail.
Is the 4 to 20 or the 2.5 to 20 any cheaper?
It is. It's either 50 or 100 cheaper.
So not a lot.
Not a lot. No, it's not a big difference. No, you know what? It might be $1,950. It could be 200.
Okay. And if I think he had it up there. There's like 7 different reticles. And if you get the Horus, it's like a $300 to $400 upcharge because you fucking got to buy that fucking reticle from him.
Yeah.
Which I find funny because Nightforce owns Horus. It's weird. So interesting. For me, that's a hard scope to beat if you're looking for a do-all.
Yes.
Simple reticle. The downside of the reticle, why it's not my number one, is it's hard to fucking see below 10.
Because I don't often find myself below 10 or below 20, that's my favorite scope, and that's actually the scope that's on all my rifles. I believe I have one MOA on a rifle only because it was like a return or something, and I was being a cheap ass. But yeah, that's the go-to scope for me. I didn't make a list of the 1 to 5. I did more of the features, so my number one scope would be that one we're talking about right now, a C625.
Our scopes won't be dramatically different anyways, the list.
No.
I'll jump into do you have another thing you want to go over? Mine.
I got more, but go ahead.
The next one, my number 2 scope is the Trijicon 10 mile 3 to 18 by 44. And I don't think their reticle has a name, but it's a busy tree-looking reticle. And that's the reason it's number 2 is because it's the lightest scope that I know of with a 3 to 18 zoom range that holds 0, and it's at 23.5 ounces.
Look up that one, Mace, for a price.
Trijicon 10 mile. I think they're $1,400 on Euro Optic.
Why they call it the 10 mile?
It's a name of some place. It's like after a.
We always have such a thing with names, and I guess that does make you. It's a memorable name, but to me, you kind of gotta. There's got to be a story behind it if it's a weird name. Like the Molinator. The Molinator has a story why it's called that. You know.
You got to spell 10, not numerals.
Oh, TEN.
Yeah, it is a story, and it does make you remember, but they can go the other way. Like if you look at cryptic shit and it's all the gods and you can't fucking pronounce or remember any of the gods' names, then that's the counterintuitive.
It is. Again, it's like, so sometimes that once you've had a business, you'll drive around and you'll be looking at like names of businesses.
Yeah.
And you'll think to yourself, how in the fuck are you guys even making rent? Like, what?
Dude, some of that shit has got to be a fucking cash flow where they're fucking turning around and laundering that shit.
Something's going on.
I think the same thing all the time. And Tana will be like, how the fuck is that? That place costs like $3,000 a month. How the fuck are they there?
Yeah. It's almost like it's a smokescreen.
Yeah.
Like for what they really do.
I guess that's a small business part of us is like,
it is.
How the fuck are they paying their overhead?
I ask myself that shit all
5
the time.
employees and fucking $3,000 in fucking mortgage a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny shit.
The 10 mile went up. The 10 mile is 1608. I thought when I bought mine, it was 14. All these prices are on Euro Optic. It's one of the best stores to buy shit from.
Yeah, they have one of the best return policies.
Yeah.
Period. They're I don't know if I want to call them a Costco, but they're very fucking good.
And whatever they do, they have shit in stock a lot.
Yes, they do.
Which I appreciate.
And it's all expensive shit. I mean, I'm talking like an $8,000 thermal in stock.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
It's fucking high level fucking stuff too. They don't sell much junk.
No.
Anyways, that's my second. The reason it's not my first, if it had a better reticle, it would probably be my first. That reticle fucking sucks.
I don't think I've shot that one.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was that expensive. I thought it was 14. I thought it was closer to my number 1 in price, but it is not. So, anyways, what you got?
Okay, next feature to pay attention to: turrets. How about location on the scope? Sometimes different scopes have different turrets in different locations.
Not turrets. Turrets.
Yeah, not turrets. Back.
Penis.
Penis wrinkle.
Dude, have you seen that chick that's going around that has a show?
Yeah, she has a fucking show. So a lot of people said she was like full of shit at some point.
No way.
It's the best acting job I've ever seen.
I don't watch the show. I just watch their shorts because they fucking crack me up.
Yeah.
And she's like, when she's talking about her sister, she has crabs. No, I don't. She has something else. No, I don't. She has a vagina. Yes, I do. She's like, but they show a cutaway where she's walking away and she don't even know the camera. She's talking to her. I think it's her boyfriend. And you can tell, dude, there's no way you're going to do that on purpose.
No.
I mean, I guess you can be mentally deranged, but not for that long. No. Like from a kid they showed the video of her kid, but she didn't even know the shit was on him and she's tweaked the fuck out, man. That would have to suck. Because you know exactly what's on your mind all the time.
The short I just saw, she was in the line of the bank.
Oh, I didn't see that one. What did she say?
I got a fucking gun. Oh my God, that is the worst place. I mean, imagine she's on an airplane, right?
Bomb.
And, yeah. Fuck! I planted a bomb. It's gonna go off. They're gonna rip her ass off the plane.
You have no fucking control what your brain thinks. It pops the fuck out.
Yeah. And it's related to the shit that's around you. I guess there's some, they call them ticks. There's some ticks that are kind of repetitive, and you say kind of the same thing all the time, but.
What makes 80G brass or primer pockets so strong?
Our process for manufacturing the brass includes what we call pocketing operation. We basically double strike and the head of the shell and brass work hardens, and by double striking it, we're moving the brass twice as much as the Hornady's or the Remingtons of the world who just do a single strike. And that extra work increases the hardness, and that increases the life of the primer pockets and its ability to handle the pressure a little bit better.
The other ticks, and I didn't know, she explains it pretty good. She talks, but they come and they go. So there's worse days and,
Absolutely. Like the first stress level's up, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
The best one was like the first, and I think they took it down because I was trying to show Tanya the other day. But she's like, they're introducing her boyfriend.
Mhm.
She's like, little penis.
He's like, babe, come on. I'm telling my secrets. That's funny. Yeah, so back to turrets,
Turrets.
not Tourette's. Capped windage.
That's funny shit.
I think that's important,
I agree.
especially if you hold wind in the reticle, knowing that you don't accidentally rub your wind the wrong way and then a elk walks out in front of you and you need to double check it.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, so a turret's location on the scope, just, be aware of your scope and understand how it works. Locking turrets.
Locking turrets. Call us, you can have the windage on the left side, where
Yes.
usually the parallax is,
Yeah.
instead of the right, which I know I actually like that and prefer that, but that's the only company I know that does that.
Size and height of your turrets. They could snag on shit. You got big, tall, skinny ones, that kind of thing. And then visibility. How clear are the hashes? Can you see the hashes? Are the numbers legible? Understand what it looks like when you're off a rev. So come off your zero. Oh, zero stop's very important too.
Very
So
important.
if you have a choice, do get zero stop. And always make sure when you're done shooting, no matter what the situation is, you come back to zero. Always back to zero. So that's part of your muscle memory, that kind of thing. But make sure you know what it looks like if you're above or off a rev, meaning that if you have a 10 mil travel turret, make sure you're not 10 up and it looks like zero. That would be off a rev, and obviously you're going to be pretty fucking high.
It's costed some people some really good animals.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think even in the competition, I was off a rev at one point.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you don't think about it until you hit about 40, but fuck, man, it's hard to, like, Night Force does a pretty good job. There's a lot of scopes that do a bad job, like the 10 mile's not great. Those numbers and those tick marks get fucking small.
Yes.
Yeah.
MK Machining makes a little magnifying glass that you can put on your scope tube in front of that area. And it's awesome, but I tried it with the NX8, and the problem is that the bracket kind of blocks your reference line. So we need one that's kind of a little bit lower, but if it works for you, it works for you. But that's a good way to help see. I think I think Tanny took that.
Yeah, she actually has it on
Yeah.
that, her 6UM.
Durability. So obviously we've been talking about drop tests and holding zero, but there's other things. There's environmental concerns, water intrusion, just things coming apart internally. Even, like the attacker. I don't like the attacker that when you spin your magnification, the entire ocular piece moves. That is the most retarded design to me, because your scope cap's in a certain spot. You end up hitting your scope cap, or it hits or you rotate it, and then you go to pull your bolt back and your bolt hits your fucking scope cap. There's all kinds of different things like that.
The ocular on the NX8 doesn't move, does it?
It does not.
Yeah, the NXS does.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the things I don't like about the attacker too.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole thing turns. So things like that. I mean, if it does it, it does it. You just have to know what you're getting into there.
Yep. And then to add in there, we're talking about bits and pieces. There's a difference between adjusting your parallax of your reticle and adjusting the focus of your reticle. They're two different things. This parallax that basically lines your reticle up to your eye is generally on the side, and it's a yardage. It's a yardage kind of measurement, and the focus is usually on the back. And it has tick marks, and it's about a full turn out is where the average is. And then what you got to do, because your eye will adjust for it quickly, is you either got to pull it up and look at the sky and see if your reticle's big and bright and fucking in focus, or have like a piece of white paper and put it in front of you. And you have to adjust that, because it starts to matter, especially when your eyes get older and they don't adjust automatically.
Yes. Close your eyes for a while, make
Yes.
sure they're all settled out, get behind your scope, put it on a white wall, white paper, whatever. As soon as you open your eyeballs, you're looking at the crispness of the reticle itself, not what's beyond your scope or through your scope, just the reticle, and then you adjust that piece to match your eyeballs. It's just like glasses.
Yep. And the parallax don't always correlate with the number 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards. And when you check your parallax, you see a lot of people that are holding their gun and checking it. You pretty much got to get all of your body off of the gun, so it's not being touched by any part of your body, and move your head up and down, and you can check if you're parallax. But if the more you shoot, and people argue with me, and I do think this is true, you start to understand when your parallax off, when you're starting to look through it, and you can see that reticle move a little bit. Me and Form argue that, but I truly believe I can see it.
Yeah.
So
You still have one more?
I got number one.
Get it.
Number one is the Maven RS1.2.
Oh, shit.
Yep, with the simple hold of a reticle, and it's a 3-15 by 44. Simple reason it won. There's two reasons. It is really durable. Everybody and their fucking dog has dropped it now, not just Rockslide, the official drop test, they say. Everybody on Rockslide dropped it holds real great.
Dio needed a good video.
Dione went above and beyond, man. Yeah. And then the number one reason is the super holder reticle. It's a fantastic reticle that you can see through the whole power ring.
Mm-hmm.
Its weight's good enough. It's on my scale. It's 26 ounces, but
price point's great.
Oh, it's $1,200. Is it 12 or 1400?
Yeah, 12 if you can get one. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,200. They do sell a mill and they sell an MOA. The MOAs are pretty much always in stock. Rockslide has made the mill one pretty much never in stock. But all these scopes, I would trust no doubt on the hunt of a lifetime. It's just little features, little weights, a little bit of here, a little bit of there. But to me, it comes down with their 1.2. The weight is good, 26 ounces. The zoom range is enough with the 15 at the upper. And the fucking reticle. You can see it pretty much no matter what zoom range you're in. But number one, it's durable.
I don't like the fucking twist caps.
The twist caps.
To adjust the...
Oh, yeah.
Adjust the caps on the Maven. It's supposed to be an easy feature.
That's your hang up?
It is.
I will say I like the way we did ours better.
Definitely.
Yes.
These are just, and when I had my first RS1.2, again, it's a fantastic scope. This is just little things. When I got the first one, like their caps are like glued, the center of the cap is glued on, and one of those popped off. That was the first thing I remember. But it's something about screwing that piece on and off and like the torque and something, but that to me would be the least robust part of the system.
I like the toolless part, you know what, but if we're going to nitpick these scopes, the Trijicon and the RS1 are both made by Lowe and they have the same fucking zero stop. And I hate that fucking chintzy little fucking hex that they use. Because you could strip it out. I haven't yet, but I always think I will. And you never know exactly, if you want to give yourself a little back tension to go below, like if you want to drop a few mils, if you're shooting high all of a sudden or just whatever, you have to fucking fuck with it enough to make it so you can go 3 or 4 clicks below zero.
Yeah.
So that's irritating to me.
He's talking about when you're going to set your zero stop. Some guys like both of us don't like to set it exactly on the zero. You give yourself a few 3, 4, 5 clicks under.
Yes.
Just in case, a zero shift, you start to shoot high, your bullet speeds up, whatever the situation is, you don't have to get back in there to adjust your zero to get that click down.
Mm-hmm. And that's, to me, that's what it's for, because you can just spin that top off, move it 1 click, set it back down.
Yeah.
But that fucking zero stop is not precise.
Yeah.
That's irritating.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same on that Trijicon, my top 2.
We sell about as many Maven Mill RS1.2s as we can get our hands on. And those are all F1s, first focal plane.
Do you even sell many Trijicons?
We've never really promoted that to customers, I think.
Gotcha.
Most guys that are calling up for a rifle build, you have one of two guys. One guy either knows exactly what the fuck he wants, or the other guy's looking for your suggestions to kind of help him along the way because he's, relative novice or just wants to know what you guys prefer to use. So in the end, we end up suggesting either the NX8 or the 1.2. We just don't have a lot of experience. I think I'll bring a couple of those in the Trijicons.
Those are your 2 most popular, correct? Night Force first, and
absolutely,
then the 1.2.
And really, they're two completely different price points. Like to me, a Maven is like the Tika custom price point, and then the Night Force is your full build price point. They're kind of, they're definitely, they're $1,000 difference basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more things on here. We got eye relief and glass. So the one thing I wanted to say about that is it's very personal. So eye boxes and glass quality, glass color, all those kind of things is that you want to get out there and try to look through one of these scopes before you buy it. It just may not agree with your...
We bring our own lenses to the party, and my eyes are different than Jake's.
Yeah, mine are fucked.
But everybody has a different lens. So.
Yeah. So definitely just try to look through it, before you buy one. Weight, we've talked a lot about weight. I think the low end of the weight spectrum for things that we've talked about is what it's got to be that fixed 6 power. It's got to be the lightest thing.
Fixed 6, I think, is like 19 or 20.
Okay.
The Trijicon's number for a full featured is 23.5 ounces.
Yeah, that's got to be the lightest.
And they're all like right there though.
Yeah,
because that's 28. I think the Maven's 26.
Mm-hmm.
So
those mid 20s is what you're looking for on an average. And then mounting. So mounting is always a good consideration because as we talk about scopes losing zero, your rings can be at fault just as bad as your scope can. Mm-hmm. So just make sure that you use quality rings when you're mounting your scope. Make sure that it's mounted properly. Make sure you're leveled out good. Make sure you're degreasing all your screws and either Loctiting or paint penning them, torquing them to manufacturer specifications. I like to put pencil now around the ring areas, like right up against the ring, front and back on both rings. So I have a reference line in case something moves.
The old witness mark.
Witness marks, yes. And that just gives you, like, if you're out if you're on a hunt and all of a sudden you just missed a fucking elk by 12 feet on the left-hand side, maybe you can look down and take a look at your witness marks and just see if something's moved on you. But I think that your mounting choice for your scope is nearly as important as the scope choice is itself.
And using fucking paint pen on
and installing it properly for sure.
It's a whole system, man. And
Yeah.
Screws don't come, they don't shoot tight, they shoot loose. Use that shit. But getting back to your glass thing is, I think the industry feeds it to us backwards. They always have glass as their number one feature. And if you're asking me, my opinion again, my thing is durability, reticle, weight, glass. Because even some of the shittiest, SWFA does not have great glass. I can still take it to fucking legal shooting light. So it shouldn't be your number one concern. In my opinion, number one concern should be fucking durability.
I think that there's very few guys that are actually good enough to tell the glass quality from one. I mean, if you had the shittiest glass in the world next to the best glass in the world, you could probably tell the difference. But one of the things I think they mentioned in that Area 419 review was that the longer you spend behind one scope, the better it seems, because you start to get used to how that scope looks, how that glass is, all the little features of that one scope, and all of a sudden it may be a standout to you simply because of the amount of time you have behind it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless you're busting out, and I don't even know why I see why you do it with binoculars and a spotter. If you're the only way to really check these is getting out resolution charts and checking them.
Yeah.
And to me, they're all they're all good enough to get you to legal shooting light. Now, if it's an extracurricular and you're using it for thermals or you're using it for low light, like Brian wants at 8x56, there's a special use case. But for the ones that we're talking about, they're a general Western hunting, what you consider long range scopes. And that's what most people are looking at right now. And these scopes have everything we want in spades.
Especially when it's a big investment, like you said, kind of the all-around go-getter. If you're gonna invest a couple grand, and that's a large investment for you, and you've never spent that much on I'll give you an example. Before I met Ryan, I didn't own any fucking Swaro shit, and you start to look through that, and you start to realize the differences, or like the Swaro ELs. That's kind of the best tool in the market, and it's a big spend, and you pop for that, and you want to make sure that you're getting your bang for your buck, or you're getting something that has the most use cases. So if you bought your 8, fixed power 56 objective, that's not going to come out here and work very well out west. I guess it could, but
depends on what's your limitations you want to put on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to hit an elk at 1,000 yards, and you're that good, then I don't know that that's the scope. That's not the best all around choice. Whereas if you had bought this 4 to 32, it's not a 56, but it's a 50, and you can be any power from 4 to 10 and be just fine, and still have that type of use for that scope, along with being able to hunt out west also. So good investment. And Night Force, obviously, any of these things are investments, but they hold their value pretty fucking well. Especially if you don't, I will tell you that almost all manufacturers, like if you call, you're going to get a better glass price than you will trying to buy it on the internet or something else. So, give the company a call. You might get a better deal. A lot of you guys are LEO or mill, things like that. You can get deals, but that Night Force, I mean, if it's $2,150 retail and you paid full price, you're going to get $1,500 out of that 3 years later.
Dude, Night Force and Swarovski are hard to beat for resale value.
Yes.
Hard to beat.
It almost doesn't matter how old it is or what it is. Somebody's out there buying.
They were selling, it was a 1990 pair of SLC Swaros. And the guy sold it exactly what he bought it for.
Well,
it was $999 and he sold them for $1,000.
There you go.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
That's the one time that inflation actually helps you out a little bit.
And it's like Jake said, is don't be looking through Swaros unless you want to buy Swaros.
Yeah, that's a fucked up deal. That's hard to go back. Of course, some guys don't like the way Swaro glass is. That goes back to the bait. It's personal, so you may like Leica or Zeiss or whatever it is. But get out there, and Cabela's has almost all that shit, and there's Cabela's everywhere. Shields. Get out there and just look through some.
Those are the transgender guys that don't like the Swaros.
Oh, really? Shields?
I said they're the transgender dudes that don't like the Swaros.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see now. I got you.
No, any of the big three. Hell, there's lots of good binoculars out there.
I would say if you were going to spend money on glass that way, I think your binoculars is probably the best choice, simply because the amount of time you spend glassing, if that glass allows you to pick an animal out you wouldn't have seen otherwise, whether it be field of view or all those different terms that they use, for binoculars. That should be that's part of the reason why I was able to spend that money, just because I know that we're going to use the shit out of them, and
and
that can make the difference.
And you don't lose money.
Yeah,
you don't lose money.
It is it's an investment.
And it's like that goes to a whole nother podcast we could have about smart rangefinders or just regular binoculars, and everybody has their opinion on that. To me, if you're a Western hunter, and like I said, it's about eliminating variables, it's hard not to freaking go on the side of smart binoculars, rangefinder binoculars.
And now they have the 12s. Maybe I need to, maybe I'm going to sell those 10s and then I'm going to get the 12s instead of sending those back.
I went with the 8s.
I know, I'm going to go the other way.
Well,
Mason's got 12 on the piers.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds because you have a little minion walking around with you.
Yeah, he gets hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad hand-me-down.
Dude, optics are, I love optics.
It's a big investment. If you have like a son, right? Like it's fucking expensive. I don't care if you're a business owner or you're rich or whatever it don't matter what it is. I mean, money is money, and $3-4 grand to pop on a piece of glass is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, fuck, I just seen a $6,000 rifle scope.
$6,000 rifle scope. It's another level.
That is another level. It's interesting to me, where is it going to stop? Because I have an NDA with a company that I know is making a product. I can't say what it is, but it's going to be like $8 grand.
Ugh.
I bet. I don't know that. $7 grand, I bet money all day it's going to be in that price point.
I think that there are, so we just built a pretty badass AR platform for a guy who shoot coyotes and whatnot. It had a very expensive thermal up top. Ooh, yeah. It was the best of the best. It takes videos and it'll connect to your phone so other people can see what you're looking at when you're shooting, all kinds of badass features.
Watch TV on it.
Dude, yeah, fuck. It does fucking everything. And that I can see when you get up to that 6, 7, 8. Like, there's a very particular function that thing's doing. But what makes one scope that's on the drop to $1,200 on the top of your list, and that motherfucker $6,200? Where is the other $5,000?
I don't know.
It'd be really hard to explain.
It would be. It's like, what is it? Just a like a Louis Vuitton fucking purse thing where there ain't but $50 of material in that fucker, but it's $7 grand.
Yeah, we know how much soft goods cost to make.
Absolutely. Is that it? It's a brand thing? I don't know. But it's like fucking, everything's getting upgraded. Like I lost my Kestrel. I fucking just bought a Kestrel and they came out with a Wes Kestrel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has Wes in it.
No shit.
Yeah. Just always fucking us.
Huh.
They just came out like 2 days ago. Yesterday.
Where'd you buy the other one from?
I bought it from your account.
Oh.
Orange one. Yeah. It was like, I bought it less than a month ago.
Yeah.
And they drop a Wes one.
They have a good return policy.
Yeah. I hate doing that to people.
Yeah.
I say, I need a backup.
Exchange it.
I need a backup.
That's true. You do need a backup.
So I did check that out. That Wes. Huh. Did you see? And we're getting off topic, but Defiance came out with a control round feed action.
I've seen that shit. Yeah.
Huh. What's the world coming to?
Did you see Hawkins came out with a Tika DBM?
I saw that too. It's like everything's getting fucking.
Oh. Anyways,
technology's not slowing down.
No, I was just having this talk with Luke, but the amount of AI, computer chip speed and references, AI chips, and robotics that's been popping up on my phone lately. We're just seeing the after effects of what's making it to social media, dude. There is a lot of shit going on.
I'm glad I'm gonna be dead when the big robot.
I don't think you're gonna be dead, dude.
Like,
the rate of advancement here from one year to the next in computing power is off the fucking charts, dude. Like exponential in a way that it ain't gonna take but 5 more years, and it's gonna be
cyborgs and sex bots.
Dude, they're talking about these quantum computers where so the quantum computer is just a chip this big, but it takes this massive room of shit basically to cool it to a temperature that you can't even find in space. Like it's somehow they were able to cool it to below absolute zero, whatever that actually means. The coldest temperature ever created or tested or found or anywhere in space or anything else. To allow this quantum computer chip to do what it does.
Who thinks of that shit?
I don't know.
Just read a thing today that we can't see 92% of the universe, and next year we won't be able to see We won't be able to see like fucking 94% of the universe. It's expanding at such a rate.
Yeah, our fucking our galaxy is going to run into another galaxy, and it's going to be like ping pong.
Oh, it's gonna be
with
we're all
fucking
gonna-
planets and stars and shit hitting each other and bouncing all over the place. And
You read all that shit. Did you read now that they think that we live inside a black hole?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I just saw that the other day.
I can't get past that we're living in a simulation.
Yeah, or it's just we're just a big ant farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It
Interesting.
could be whatever it is. But I do know that, like, I kind of have a tendency to notice trends and things like that, and do the advancement of the AI, the basic idea of AI chips, and who is going to. I just saw a quote, and I wish I could remember how it said, but it was basically about how humans bring super intelligence into the world is going to determine the path of humanity. Basically.
Terminator or not.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's just this big race to who's going to get there first, and there's no control. There are no rules. There literally are no rules. Somebody can turn it on tomorrow in some dude's garage with these fucking chips. There, the dude from NVIDIA, the CEO, is fairly recognizable now. He's kind of in the front of all that, and the chip that is something like a petaflop. I was just telling these guys a petaflop. So a petaflop
Sounds made up.
It's like 100 billion computations per second, some crazy shit. But the petaflop computation power required an entire building a year ago, and now it's in a little chip, and that was within 12 months, basically. And so that's the advancement that I'm talking about: is the amount of computing power and the size of it. And you saw the Wall-E robot.
Yep. Yeah,
that was pretty
that's how it came
bad.
out. It wasn't. It was a techno nerd, like Elon level, and he was talking about. We really need to start thinking about making what are those little the nukes called that fucking blow up fucking electronics? Impulse or
EMPs.
EMPs.
Yes.
We really need to start
We
figuring
need some
out
personal home fucking EMPs.
how to make EMPs. And he's
Yes.
like, I'm not joking.
I would have one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Little mini one where you could we could use some remote launcher, right? So robots coming up your fucking front lawn or whatever, you launch that at them and it fucking knocks it out.
And there's like levels, like they can like a AI would obviously make a Faraday cage around their computer motherboard.
Yeah.
And there's like pinpoint fucking these little bombs that like shoot it right at it's like ridiculous. Like
What about the little mini drones? This guy's video has been around for a long time, but there's these little mini fucking fly-sized drones that have a charge of C4 in them. And they simply fly the fucking fly right at your forehead.
Suicide drones.
Yes, and it just, but they're tiny. Fucking tiny.
North Korea is trying to make a bunch of those.
Really?
Yeah.
And he explained it in a way that you could have a swarm of these attack an army, and each one of them is just going to pick. They're all communicating with each other, and they're each going to pick out an individual human, and they just literally fly them. That little charge of C4, it puts like a perfect cone-size explosion through your forehead.
Detonates.
Done. Just done.
Dude, after I seen the thermal, like I told you, hunting pigs with the thermal fucking drone down in Texas.
Yeah.
All bets are off, dude. We're fucked. We're getting yelled at. We need to get off the fucking,
having a little fucking thermal drone. I know the whole drone part for hunting is illegal, but having something with you of course, people are making businesses out of that now, a recovery service.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're fucking 10 miles in, it'd be nice to have something that you can pull out and help find.
After, like, it's kind of like retrieving your animal with an ATV once you kill it.
Yes.
You fucking kill the animal, you're pretty sure it's dead. There's a deer channel. I'll send it to you. And their service, they go out and find deer with the thermal after they shot them.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right.
They're yelling at us. We got to get off. Hey, there's 2 classes. We have classes left. If you want to go to the Shoot to Hunt 0 to 600 this year, I think we have 4 spots over 2 different weeks. And the African hunt's still wide open. So if you want to do that, go to shoottohunt.com and check them out.
Thank you.
Thanks.